Okay, here I am at my Redbird. We're looking through the windshield that's not there. And this is the dash cluster. And you can see all the wiring there. I have this ignition switch here pulled out. And there's the light switch over here. And what the plan is, didn't have keys to this vehicle. So we're going to replace the ignition switch and the light switch, but I'm going to have this whole cluster restored before I put those in. So what the idea here is, we're going to remove all the wiring one wire at a time and then place it on. Here's the new ignition switch here, and put that on. This is the top. On the back here you can see the top terminal is ignition, the one on the right is the battery, and the one over here is accessories. So one at a time, we're going to remove the wires and place the new ignition switch on the wiring. And we're going to do the same thing with the light switch over here. I have a new light switch. There it is. And we're going to replace it one at a time also. Now, by doing that, that relieves the cluster from all the wiring, so I can remove the cluster to have that restored. And I have one more item over the far side is the wiper. I'm going to have to disconnect that over at the connection point versus at the cluster so I can remove this. Okay, one other thing before I start taking the wiring off and put it on the ignition switch and light switch. The other wires here and stuff, make sure you label them. And this little guy here is an interesting guy right here. This is your pink wire. It's a resistance wire. It goes from the ignition all the way over to the ignition coil on the firewall on the inside fender. But that's important. It reduces the voltage to that unit. And it also apparently makes its way to the points on the distributor. Without that wire there, you're going to burn up points. So I tried to get a replacement for it so I could hot wire the engine, and it wasn't to be found. So now I'm going to start removing the wires on the ignition coil here, this guy, and then I'm going to move over to the light switch here. Okay, I have the wires on the new ignition switch. I'm going to move over to the light switch over there. I got them on loose. There's some wires crossing and stuff. I want to straighten that out. Looking at the situation here, there's no way when they assembled this car, they put the harnesses in and then put the cluster on. To only do it so it wouldn't take much time is they had the cluster already connected to the wiring harness, and then the wiring harness was put in the car. Well, the cluster is disconnected from all the wiring. On the left, you see here is the ignition switch, the new one, and the new light switch. And up over here is your harnesses and stuff. So now, what I'm going to do is button it up, try to pull it up so it's out of the way. We got some under dash work here we have to do. Here's the harness pulled up and buttoned out of the way so we can get to the underneath over here without any problems. And then when I start the electrical, I'll start ringing things out, blah, blah, blah. So, came out pretty cool. There you go again. From this angle. Here we have the two dash clusters. The one on the left over here is from the parts car. And the one on the right over here is from the car we're restoring. Now the one on the right, the speedometer reads 16,974. The one on the left here reads 83,363. Now the motor came out of this parts car, but the speedometer wasn't working. Don't know how long. Probably a little over 100,000 miles. The engine was pretty darn clean. Didn't need ring replacement or anything to do with the bearings. So I'm guessing it's probably going to be the same as the car on the right, or the restoring car that didn't have the motor, about the same. So what I'm going to do is going to stop the video and flip it over. Oh, one other thing. This is this guy right here. That's oil on the left and generator on the right. So I'll stop the video and flip it over. Okay, we have the dash clusters flipped over on the back side. Interesting, the parts car over here, the clock is August 60 and the speedometer is July 60. And the car we're restoring, the clock is August 60, just like the other one, and the speedometer is August 60. So these two cars were built about the same time. I gotta go back and look at the serial numbers on the tag on the car. See. So this is what we got. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take these over to the guy that restores these clusters, and we're gonna take the best parts off of one, put it on the other. He might be recommending chrome plating, don't know. Of course, you want the faces of the dials and stuff refreshed, and we want to have working components. Here's the glove box. I have 4 glove boxes. This turns out to be probably the best one I have, so I'll have that restored along with the dash cluster. And the same with this, the dash cluster, and can't see it there, you can see it. Both the dash cluster and the glove box appear to have like a satin coating on the chrome of the inner section. So it appears that a lot of people have restored their T-Birds and they got chrome both on the dashboard, or the dash cluster, and the glove box, and it appears they haven't put that satin color on the chrome. We'll see what the restorer has to say. So if you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe. We're going to have many more episodes of the restoration of this. I call this the Redbird, actually. The one in the back over there that I'm using as spares, I call the Bird. But anyways, and hit the notification. Like I say, there's going to be several episodes, so if you subscribe, you'll know when I post more videos. Have a nice day.